How's it going in today's video? I know today's 28th of September, Saturday. In today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at where it's something that we have started yesterday just to catch up with all the government's press releases. And government is taking a look at critical industries, including defense. So we're gonna be beginning to take a look at four different articles. From there, perhaps myself will be bringing everyone's attention to critical areas, and we're gonna be closing this video by taking a look at shipping industry in the United States and what's happening there, since that would be a lot of issues. Logistics potentially is something that we're gonna be taking a look at. Logistics and no defense, right? Starting with first article is something that was updated yesterday. That will be United Kingdom's organization selected in first AUKUS Innovation Challenge. So that will be four different projects. So we can potentially take a look at those four different projects and what kind of problems those projects going to be looking to solve, right? Other businesses might be interested in engaging with, I think it's TASA organization who is carrying out this exercise. And if you are based in UK, you can potentially receive finances to solve very particular problems, right? And we can take a look at four different projects that already have received finances, right? That would be perhaps let's keep it's private businesses. Perhaps as of now we're not looking for finances, so let's keep names. Well, let's take a look at the problem what these businesses are going to be looking to solve. This project is seeking to create fake radioactivity, making the true location of friendly military forces. To support missions, the research will focus on extending previous work on AI-generated traffic to boost realism to defeat adversary EV systems. Okay. Well, the different organization or different problem is developing an flight demonstration for novel combination of EW payloads and all small uncrewed air systems platforms. Okay. We can progress. Perhaps the governments made a lot of progress in this space already. That will be just perhaps to match those organizations and all governments, right? Let's progress to the next issue. Ability to transmit and receive on identical frequencies simultaneously has been an operational and or technical challenge for decades. The Smart Star Jammer project. Okay. That both of these words are smart. It's acronym, and start is acronym. Okay. It is kind of interesting. Jammer's project sets out to combination simultaneous transmit and or receive. Start. Okay, joint development by okay. That would be university, which is kind of interesting. And the last issue, this project aims to improve the ability to detect multiple individual faint signals, is close geometric proximity to one another. This will be achieved by using combination of machine learning and statistics, right? So a lot of issues, and they're looking at communications, and one of those would be uncrewed air systems platforms, right? Other than that, communications. So good. If some of the projects already looking to solve these problems, not necessarily those same or very similar projects will be launched in near future. Most likely they would be looking to solve different problems, right? Unless some of those projects would be unsuccessful, right? So, well, either way, let's progress and let's take a look at other press releases. As well as briefly, right, other news have covered this area, so not necessarily myself, I'm looking to cover in exactly the same way. That would be a lot of businesses based in the US, a lot of businesses based in the UK, and they're looking to solve very particular problems when it comes to supply chains, in particular perhaps manufacture some more semiconductors back in their own country, right? Something that the United States is doing, perhaps the UK is considering doing the same. That will be a semiconductor factory has been acquired by Ministry of Defense. There's a location there and all these kind of things that would potentially lead into improving capabilities, right? I have mentioned previously they do not have enough apprentices, something I was taking a look at, just handful. So perhaps the UK should consider increasing those numbers. I would highly recommend doing that. The acquisition will not only safeguard the future of the facility, which is critical for defense supply chain and all major military program and exports, but also secure up to 100 skilled jobs in Northeast. 100, I don't know, this is still not enough. Just depending on what part of know what they're going to be doing, as well as perhaps if they have facilities, who are going to be the company managing those facilities, right? But either way, let's progress and let's take a look at the next article. First, when it comes to logistics and all, perhaps some of the challenges, right? By the way, no one's talking about it. Perhaps that should be important. So I have a map in front of me, so I thought I'll touch on it. I don't know if that's perhaps just an opinion, right? It's just that currently, when it comes to logistics and or container deliveries, there's a lot of issues, and all when it comes to challenges coming from Yemen, right? So a lot of ships are currently perhaps going all the way around using Cape Town or South Africa, right? But there might be a lot of challenges in the area of South Africa as well. In addition to that, there's another route and all the way to the north, right, with ice melting. Perhaps that would be three key areas, right? Perhaps that would be logistical challenges and critical areas. Three critical areas. All the way to the north, where ice is melting, perhaps there might be opportunities there. Yemen, currently, I know increases with insurance and no challenges when it comes to traveling. A lot of issues there, as well as increase of all going all the way around. That would be South Africa, right? So that would be brief of some of the critical areas when it comes to supply chains, right? Just before coming back to some of the press releases, and let's, I don't know, we can take a look at the supply chains, right? That would be shippers scramble for work around ahead of looming U.S. East Coast port strike. There's potentially going to be a strike in the U.S. where a lot of staff would be looking to better contract, right? Again, that's the supply chains, right? It's something that we were just taking a look at, and perhaps have to be reflected and or contingency plan. Either way, companies import early shipped goods to West Coast, use pricey flight to avoid strikes. So potentially that would be by sea. So other shipment routes, I don't know, fly things in. Perhaps that would be alternative to that. ULA Union and all U.S. Maritime Alliance at impasses overpay. Risky supply chain disruption. So perhaps that would be entire supply chains, right? Economics assessment strikes could reduce payrolls growth by 100,000 jobs if prolonged, right? So there's a lot of opinions as of now, and depending on how long the strike is gonna be happening, and how much of the impact that might have on U.S. economy. If it's gonna be 2 weeks, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge, I guess. So all the goods that might be on those shipping containers, right? So I thought we can briefly touch on that, since I think every small action might have a reaction, and what kind of ripples that will send to UK and or Europe as well, right? Since what is something that's happening in the United States, right? With that being said, let's come back to UK and perhaps some of those areas what UK is doing. Since I personally believe that would be reason for publishing this particular article, but again, that's background and no context, right? That the Minister of Defense analyzes future global strategic trends. Seventh edition of Minister of Defense analysis of the long-term future global strategic context of possible future has been published today, covering a range of global trends, including defense and or technology advancements, right? I haven't read it, but I believe that would be how things would work, where opportunities are, where some of the routes and or challenges, where the chokeholds might be when it comes to supply chains. all these kind of areas I believe that will be important, and some of the actions perhaps the government is taking a look at. We briefly gonna be taking a look at just some of the bullet points after the highly uncertain future for some of the countries, and that's something perhaps would be considered unfriendly countries with outcomes of the war in Ukraine, and the implementations of this being key to its future power and status, as well as China will continue to use economic interdependence underpinned by military strength and core means to achieve its objectives. In an age of increased uncertainty, the need to build resilience, agility, and new forms of defense will be paramount. So, this third point, I would say some of those choke points, right? South Africa and Yemen, or perhaps going all the way around where there would be less ice, right? So that was perhaps something myself, perhaps I would like to bring more people's attention to. But either way, expansion in the number of nuclear armed states fielding more power weapons combined with the new weapons of mass effect will create new challenges. Military shaping power will remain one of the ultimate levels of power. Space and cybersecurity will increase by the factor in a battlefield success. This edition makes more than 20 years of strategic foresight analysis conducted by Minister of Defense internal thinking tank. The authors gather a diverse range of insights and research to present global views of a global term future, focusing on key areas such as social, economic, environmental, and security factors. Right? Entire work, perhaps there's a lot of ideas and all these kind of things. Let's progress. We already take a look at defense more than anything, economy, but all this kind of I'm more interested in economy and building businesses, but perhaps there would be more of the today's vibe with actually defense, right? And just to close this video with perhaps some interesting information that the winners of regional student competition that 2024-25 that the Falkland Islands government and British embassy in Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay announced the winners of regional student competition. Hopefully, we could increase those numbers. Perhaps it's just a handful of people. So these numbers, we need to increase it. These numbers should be way higher, perhaps 20 students of each. That would improve relationships, all those kind of great things, right? That's close to that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.